Old gun guy here. I'm doing a little follow-up video to one I did the other day on a 22 Magnum versus a 22 long rifle. In that video, I was basically illustrating the differences that you lose the potential in a 22 Magnum fired out of a pistol versus a rifle. Basically, in 22 long rifle, roughly performance fired out of a rifle, and that's more appropriate to using a 22 mag as a hunting tool. But today I'm going to do apples to apples. I'm going to fire out a chronograph, my 5-inch barreled Ruger Mark II 22 long rifle with range ammo, Federal 40 grain full metal jacket, and my 4.5-inch barreled Kel Tec PMR. That's about as apples to apples as I can get in 22 Winchester Magnum. I'm going to shoot 5 shots of Federal 40 grain, just their basic ammo, and then I'm going to do 2 shots, 2 strings with premium ammo. In the 22, I have some CCI Stinger here. It's a hollow point 32 grain projectile. In the 22 Magnum, I must have bought this about a year ago. I forgot I had it. It's Speer Gold Dot, personal protection, short barrel ammunition. It's loaded with a 40 grain Gold Dot hollow point, and it looks like this compared to that. So I'm going to fire over the chronograph, the 22 regular ammo and premium ammo, and then the 22 Magnum standard ammo versus I guess this is considered a premium load, the Speer Gold Dot. And it's 12 degrees out, it's a snowstorm, it's a little windy out. The light's a little funny out there, so I'm going to try and capture the on the chronograph. If the light ain't right, the chronograph won't read. It'll read error, or you won't get a pick up a shot. So I'll see what I can do there. If that goes well, I'm going to try a terminal effects test, 22 Stinger out of the 5-inch barreled Ruger, into the water, plywood, water target that I do on most of my videos, and the 22 Magnum fired from the 4.5-inch barrel out of this Kel Tec with the Speer Gold Dot, and see what we can learn there. So I go outside and then I'll be back. Okay, got a little bit of sun out here, so I'm going to do a little chronograph data. Let's straighten this camera out. Make sure we get me on the camera. All right. We're going to do the 22 long rifle, apples to apples, with a 22 Winchester rimfire Magnum. I'm going to be using my Ruger Mark II 22 caliber pistol, 5-inch barrel. Be using just regular Federal range ammo, 40 grain projectile, and my Kel Tec PMR 30, loaded with 40 grain Federal. That's what they look like side by side. I'm gonna throw my ears on. I'll do 2 strings. One of my friends is out here. Let me put my ears on. The 22 will be up first. I'm going to follow it up with 2 premium ammunitions. 22 long rifle Stinger, which I have another magazine. And poking around in my stuff, I have some 40 grain Speer Gold Dot, and I realized I bought this about a year ago. Personal protection, short barrel ammunition, 22 Magnum rimfire. And we'll run that through. Hate to interrupt your lunch. Okay, first up, 40 grain 22. $11.05, $10.95, $11.61, $11.03, $11.03. All right, the sun keeps dipping in and out, so 22 Magnum 40 grain fettable. $13.51, and she didn't record. That should be good now. 1308, 1283, 1232. Try one more. And 1303. $12.50, $12.39, $12.47, $12.63, okay, I'm going to try the Speer Gold Dot, 40 grain hollow point, 22 Magnum. 12.29. Got an error. You got enough sunshine now. $13.33. And $13.33. That's probably an error. Try a few more shots. Sun is low in the sky. Alright, I think I got enough light here. Alright, 22 Magnum Speer. Change the string. $13.70, $12.55, and that's it. All right, go back in and review that results.
Hate to interrupt your lunch. Okay, first up 40 grain 22. $11.05, $10.95, $11.61, $11.03, $11.03. He's dipping in and out, so 22 Magnum 40 grain fettable. $13.51, and she didn't record. That should be good now. 1308, 1283, 1232. Try one more. And 1303. String change. Alright, next up, 32 grain CCI Stinger. It's a premium 22 ammunition. 1250, 1239, 1247, 1263, and an error. So, okay, I'm going to try the Speer Gold Dot, 40 grain hollow point, 22 Magnum. 1229, got an error. All right, I got enough sunshine now. $13.33. Change the string. $13.70. 12.55. And that's it. All right, go back in and review that results.
I'm going to do a terminal effects test. I don't have to go on the woods for this. Put 3 jugs of water, 18 inches of water. First piece of 3/4 inch plywood, fresh witness board, and another fresh 3/4 inch piece of plywood. I'm going to use the 22 Rimfire Magnum Speer Gold Dot personal protection, short barrel, hollow point, 40 grain hollow point, Gold Dot hollow point. We'll see how this does. All right, recovered the projectile. I'll go over the results and just clean this up. One jug entered here, blew up, expanded, was laying on a table. I'll do that inside because my hands are freezing. The plywood unscathed. So if you've seen any of my other pistol videos, you know, they're little defensive rounds generally punch right through that. Okay. I'm going to use a 22 long rifle, a CCI Stinger. This is a premium 22 ammunition, varmint, 32 grain hollow point, 22 long rifle. And a Ruger Mark II pistol, 5-inch barrel. Just for comparison, terminal effect test. I only got 2 jugs of water there, 6 inches of water, 3/4 inch piece of plywood unscathed. Another jug of water and a witness board, and we'll see what this does. Actually, I see no difference between the 22 Magnum and the 22 Stinger. They both put a little divot in the plywood. See if I can recover the projectile. Just fragments. So I didn't see very much difference between the two ammunitions as far as what they did. So. Okay, I'm back for my quick little video, part 2 of the 22 Magnum. To restate, in the first video, I was basically comparing how much velocity you really lose in a 22 Mag pistol. You leave a lot of potential, lose a lot of potential as opposed to firing at a rifle, but that's more in a hunting context. Some people use 22s for self-defense or 22 Magnums, and that's entirely up to you. Would it be my first choice? No. But the 22 rimfire, 22 long rifle, has killed an awful lot of people over the century and a half it's been around. The primary purpose is just showing apples to apples now. The closest I can get is this pistol has a 4.5 inch barrel, this PMR 30 Kel Tec 22 Magnum, and this Ruger Mark II 22 long rifle. The bull barrel version has a 5 inch barrel. So the chronograph, the light kept going in and out, the sun kept going in and out, so the results are kind of choppy, but every one it recorded, I wrote down and did the math. So first up we had the 22 long rifle, fired out of this pistol, standard Walmart range ammo, Federal, comes in about a 325 round box. I don't have an example on the table here, I get the premium stuff here. 40 grain projectile, the velocity averages of the shots 1,116 feet per second, and the energy was 111 foot-pounds, and that was for our standard range ammo. I had 40 grain Federal, I guess kind of like their least expensive ammo, the 22 Winchester Magnum, fired out of the Kel Tec. That was 1,295 feet per second average, and the energy foot-pounds was 149. So over the 22 long rifle, fired out of the pistol, substantial increase in velocity, probably approaching 20%. So it was about 179 feet per second faster than the 40 grain 22 Federal. And the energy foot-pounds were 33 foot-pounds more for the 22 Magnum. And then the two premium ammunitions. I fired CCI Stinger. It's a 32 grain projectile, hollow point. It's considered a premium ammo. It looks like that. Compare that to the Speer Gold Dot 22 Magnum, right next to each other. The CCI Stinger, the velocity average 1,249 feet per second. And the energy was 111 foot-pounds, which interests me enough is the exact same energy as the range ammo. It's just that the velocity is a lot higher. And then I went to the Gold Dot, 40 grain hollow point, Gold Dot hollow point, Speer. The velocity average 1,281 feet per second from the Kel Tec, and the energy was 146 foot-pounds. It was plus 32 in the velocity category and plus 35 in the energy. And I'll leave this up for a minute. Everybody, if you're interested, you could freeze frame it or pause it and write it down. The conditions are pretty awful. It's windy out there, it's 12 degrees, and the sun kept on and out, and that messes with the chronograph. So it either registers the shot or it won't register the shot. You'll either get it doesn't register anything or an error if you have a problem. But the shots that did register, those are the velocities. I decided to do a thermal effects test like I do with the other rifles and handguns I do. It's a very simple analog for an animal or human. 6 inches of water, a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, 6 inches of water behind it, a witness board at a third jug, totally unnecessary at the 22s. Fired a 22 Stinger first, and what I had left, all I recovered, was these fragments that are sitting on the board here. All right, the bullet blew up. At first I didn't think it struck the board, but it did strike the board. There's 2 dimples in this board. There's a fresh piece of plywood. This is the 22 Stinger, a little less than the 22 Magnum that followed it. They hit, pretty far apart. I'd have to say it's about a 1/4 inch into the plywood, the 22 Magnum. The 22 Magnum basically just blew one water jug up and dented the plywood. Not really a great result. This is the 40 grain Speer Gold Dot 22 Magnum. Fully expanded. It looked like it retained just about all of its weight, so it's a good projectile. So it's the Speer Gold Dot personal protection short barrel ammunition. And like I said, I forgot I had it in the prior video. Somebody commented about that. So I started looking around, and they have CCI, and they had this. I must have bought it about a year ago. So from a self-defense point, that's not optimal. But like I said, 22s have stopped a lot of fights over the years. Have killed people. And I don't know so much about stopping fights. But if you got arthritis, if you got weak hands, whatever, maybe this is the pistol for you. Standard capacity is 30 rounds. That's a lot of rounds. The standard capacity in this is 10 rounds. The old wall of lead theory, or hail of lead. I don't know if it's the best thing if you wind up in a court of law in the aftermath, but it could serve you in a defensive role. Like I said, you pick your tool and you take your chances and use what works for you. They're all good. The 22 Magnum is a very good, fine cartridge for pests and critters. Out of a rifle, up to about 60 or 70 pound critters. You can dispatch with ease to about 125 yards. The 22 long rifle is extremely useful. Target shooting, pest elimination. Out of handguns, there's not a gigantic difference. And in the premium ammunitions, the Stinger to the Gold Dot, even though it's 8 grain less projectile, the energy is only 35 foot-pounds more, and the velocity was 32 feet per second more for the 22 Magnum. And that muzzle blast, I don't know if you've quoted a couple times, the flash and the blast, the increased noise, is the powder burning outside the barrel, not propelling the projectile. But like I said, I got no dog in a fight, cat in a fight. They're both good rounds, and that was just a little quick video I put together for that. And with that, I'm Old Gun Guy. Have a good evening.